Stuffed Toficken over mashed and mixed vegetables. That's the face you make when it's fire. Let's get into it. So we're gonna start off with our super firm tofu. I got the organic vacuum sealed version. I picked this up from Publix, and I just start with cutting it out the package, just like you would any other tofu, except it's less water. But you cut that out of the packet, drain the excess water or whatever little water that's in there. Once you remove it, I still did the same process that you would typically do, which is taking some paper towel and press it to press out any additional water. Which, in all honesty, because it was the vacuum seal pack, it was way less water. I had to do very, very little squeezing. So you mash that down, and like I said, just try to get as much water out as possible. Once we're finished with that, we'll begin to cut our tofu cutlets. What we're trying to accomplish is the look of um, like chicken pieces, chicken breast. So I just split these in half evenly or as even as possible. Cut those into two. And then so that's one block of tofu cut in half. And then once it's halved, I'll go in to try to mimic the look of chicken breast. Now, I'm not an artist, so you know, this is the best I could do. I think it looked great. My husband was like, "No, this don't look like it," but it was fun. It was fun making. Um, it's really the creativity of being vegan and just finding fun things to do. So I trim off the sides, and I trim off the left and then trim off the right. Like I said, I'm trying to mimic the look of a chicken breast as much as possible. Um, and don't worry, nothing goes to waste. So we're gonna set those pieces to the side, but we will use them a little later. So just hold those to the side. After I trim the first one, I'll go to the second one and do the same exact process, which is trimming the sides off. And you're kind of doing a circular motion to round off the square shape. We're gonna, like I said, trying to get like a round body, you know. And then just clean it up just a little bit. To me, it looked close, but I wanted to, you know, uh, sometimes I feel a little artsy, so I wanted to just take off just a little bit extra. And like I said, I set those pieces to the side because I'm going to use those in the another part of the recipe later. So here you see me. I'm just taking off a little bit extra just to get more of a round appearance. And I think that looks great. I think that looks great. So I'm going to take these pieces. These will be our tofu, like bacon bits. Really good. So um, set those to the side, and we're going to go ahead and slice down the middle of our tofu cutlet. Um, if you've ever made stuffed chicken, it's the same exact thing that you would do, except, of course, you gotta be a little more gentle, just because you don't want your tofu to fall apart. You don't want to crumble in your hand. So just be easy with it. But as you see, I got a nice deep cut. If you want to, test the limits, try to go back a little further. I didn't want to push it too far. After I slit each one of the cutlets, I then go on the top of both, which I'm going to do the top and the bottom, and cut some lines in it. So we're going to go diagonal lines, and then we'll go back across diagonal the other direction, just to open up the spaces, because we're going to take our marinade and get that all inside that tofu. You'll do the same thing to both. Once you're finished with one, you're going to do the same exact thing to the other one, but you want to make sure you flip it over and do the same exact thing to the other side. So we'll start getting our marinade ready. I will leave the marinade details in the comments or in the description. But you're going to take some no chicken bouillon, a little sea salt, some nutritional yeast, liquid smoke, coconut aminos, some vegan Worcestershire, and I use some vegetable broth as well. You don't want your marinade to be too liquidy. You want it to be more of a paste. So I take whatever seasons you want to use. After you use all of the base of your liquids, you want to go back in with your garlic powder, onion powder, um, a little sea salt, um, a little Creole seasoning. Uh, I think I added a little bit of water here, but what I would have preferred to use is the vegetable broth. If I remember correctly, I wish I would have used my vegetable broth. I didn't. I used some spring water. So for more flavor, I would definitely suggest using vegetable broth or whatever broth you want to use. So after you get that all your seasonings together, I take my small whisk and I just mix everything in really well. We're gonna take that marinade and we're gonna paint it on our tofu. I told you that artistry comes in handy here. So we're gonna
All
take that
right, so now
marinade. We're gonna
that we
take
got
our
the
our
tofu
brush.
cutlets
And we're gonna
ready, we're gonna
brush
go
that
ahead and start
marinade
on
in
our stuffing.
those lines that we
And
cut
that
in the
is
tofu,
softened cream
and we're
cheese,
gonna
vegan cream
just
cheese,
the same exact thing you do to
some
one, you're gonna do to the
sun-dried
other,
tomatoes,
and whatever you do to one
vegan
side, you're gonna do to
mozzarella,
the other
vegan
side.
Parmesan cheese,
So
all of
on
the seasons
top,
that you use for
all
your
around the
marinade.
sides,
And then we're gonna
and then we're gonna
melt
flip
it
it over
so
and do the
that
same
we
exact thing
can
to
put
the other
that
side as
into
well.
the cutlets. From here, we're gonna take those tofu bacon bits and we're gonna put those into the spinach mixture and get that mixed in really well. I basically took the same marinade and put that on the bacon pieces, cut those down, and put them in the air fryer for probably about 25 minutes. All right, so now it's time to get our tofu cutlets ready to stuff with that cheesy mixture. And we're gonna take that spinach cheese mixture and just gently stuff that down into our tofu. What I would recommend that I didn't do, but I would recommend that you do it, get that marinade and try and brush it down into the inside of the tofu. You can either pour some of it inside or just take that brush and lightly brush that marinade on the inside there. I think that would just add so much more additional flavor. Like I said, I didn't do it, but when I do make this again, I do plan on adding that marinade inside as well, not just to the outside, but when I let it sit overnight, I would add that flavor inside of the tofu as well. And you just want to gently take your time. I almost felt like I was about to bust through the tofu, so just be extra careful. I'm a little rough. I am a little rough, so um, I need to practice what I preach and just be a little more gentle, especially when it comes to the tofu. All right, so we're gonna just continue to stuff as much of that mixture inside of the tofu as we can. That looks beautiful. That absolutely looks beautiful. Once everything has been stuffed inside, just take your time, make sure it's nothing like hanging over, because what we're going to do is let this marinade sit overnight. And you just want to make sure all that flavor is inside your tofu. I'm going to go ahead and get our pan ready. I spray the pan down and I'm going to put both of the stuffed tofu inside of the pan. We're going to wrap that up and let that sit overnight. All right, now we're going to go ahead and get our vegetable medley ready. And we're going to start by cutting down our zucchini. I take 4 small zucchinis, get those sliced down to whatever your liking is. This is how I like mine, but you can dice them, you can make them thinner, however you want. We're gonna then take our onion. I took a leftover onion and just dice that down. I'm gonna just add that in just for flavoring.
24 hours later.
My family doesn't really like onion, so I really just use it for flavoring. Throw that in the pan quickly before they can see it, so they don't say, I don't want onion. After we get the onion dice, we're going to get our shiitake mushrooms ready. This is one of my favorite mushrooms. I know everybody loves oyster mushrooms, which I do too. But shiitake mushrooms, when it comes to the meatiness, the flavor that it holds, whatever seasoning, whatever flavor that you're going for, that shiitake mushroom really, really does the best of taking on whatever flavor you're looking for. And it is literally the best option. We're going to go ahead and get our cast iron ready. I take some of my roasted garlic oil and add that to the pan. And then I'll just get all of my vegetables added into the pan. So my zucchini, my mushrooms, the onion. And then I'm going to take some bell peppers and onions that I had and get those added in as well. And we're going to just let these slow cook. While those are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and get my other pan ready for my stuffed chicken or stuffed tofu chicken. Make sure you add all the seasonings as well for your vegetables. I don't like mine over seasoned, but I do like flavor. So whatever that means to you, season it to your liking. That medley looks amazing. It looks so good and colorful, and the flavor matched. The flavor matched. All right, so we're gonna get our pan ready for our tofu cutlets. Same thing, get that oil added into the pan. We're gonna add our marinated stuffed tofu chicken to the pan, and we're gonna continue with that same marinade. We're gonna baste each side and flip it and continue to baste while we're cooking. You'll do that continuously until it's to your liking. Of course, you don't want to overcook it. I use this pan specifically because I like to have those grill marks, so it looks like like grilled chicken. But just on a light, I'm using a glass top, so I think I had it on about a 6, and then I lowered it down to about a 4, and then I'll continue to cook it on each side. When you flip it over, you'll add some more of that marinade. Like I said, I had it on a 6 and I lowered it because it started cooking too fast. Once it starts cooking too fast, it starts to stick to the pan. So I am gonna add the marinade. I add a little more oil, and then I'm gonna go in and add a little bit of water so that that steam will help it so that it doesn't continue to stick. And continue to baste while flipping, and you'll continue that process a few more times, or like I said, to your liking. I just wanted to make sure mine was fully cooked through on both sides, and then I also wanted that the spinach mixture on the inside. I wanted to make sure that that was melted and cheesy. If you know vegan cheese, it doesn't melt the best. Which my mixture did melt very well, but I wanted to make sure that it was melted again. If you notice, it started sticking to the pan. So it was time to go ahead and take it out because it started looking ugly. But here it's still such a beautiful look. My marinade, I'm still adding the marinade to it. And it just looks really, really good. And we're all done and plated up. We got our garlic mashed potatoes, our tofu cutlets, our mixed vegetables, and it's time for our taste test. That first bite is everything. It is so good, y'all. That's fire. That is fire. And that garlic mash, poof, top tier. Top tier. I hope y'all enjoy. I hope you try it. If you do try it, tell me down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Now look at her. Tell me them don't look good. Tell me them don't look like some real grilled chicken pieces. Yes, they look good. What I wish I had not done, I wish I would have added a little more oil. So I went in and added a little water to steam because they started sticking. That's the only thing I don't like about that pan is they well, it's not the pan, it's more so the tofu. Of course, it's not creating its own oil, so they begin to stick. They look really, really good here. And then they kind of started sticking. So the other side didn't look as well once I flip them over again. But continue to cook and flip just to make sure you're, getting it evenly cooked on all sides. And here is the finished product. At home garlic mash, the tofu cutlets, your mixed vegetables. And now we're going to give a taste test. Look, that first bite, mm, it's so good. Like I said, it didn't taste like chicken. I'm not going to lie and say, oh, yeah, it tastes just like chicken. It did taste like chicken because we're not trying to taste like chicken. We're creating vegan food, soulful food. So good. Thanks for watching.